Let's be real, nothing shifts the dynamic in a relationship faster than when a woman realizes she's no longer the center of your attention. That might sound intense, but it's a reality a lot of men overlook. We've been conditioned to believe that a man should always chase, always prove, always pour energy into keeping a woman engaged. But here's the twist. What happens when you stop doing that? What happens when you redirect your energy back into yourself, your goals, your purpose, and she starts to notice that shift? That's when the dynamic really changes. And more importantly, that's when you start to see who she truly is beyond the surface. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here, because today we're diving into something that most guys never consider, but absolutely should. We're talking about what really happens when a woman senses that she no longer has your full attention. Now let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate anyone. This is about awareness, understanding the natural dynamics of attention, attraction, and self-respect. Because your attention isn't just about compliments or conversations, it's about value. It's about where you invest your time, your focus, and your energy. And whether she admits it or not, when that energy shifts, it can stir up a range of emotions, confusion, frustration, maybe even a little insecurity. And how she reacts in that moment, that reveals more about her mindset, her intentions, and the true nature of your connection than anything she might say when things are easy. So in this video, we're breaking down 7 common ways women tend to respond when they feel that change, when they realize your focus is no longer centered on them. Some of these reactions might surprise you. Others might confirm things you've seen but couldn't fully explain. Either way, by the end of this video, you're going to have a deeper understanding of what's really going on beneath the surface and how to respond like a man who knows his value, owns his presence, and never chases what isn't aligned. Let's get into it. 1. She suddenly wants to talk more. One of the first things you'll notice when a woman senses she's lost your attention is that, out of nowhere, she suddenly wants to talk a lot more. And I'm not just talking about the usual light conversations or playful back and forth that brings people closer. I mean those unexpected texts, those "Hey, how have you been?" messages, or those seemingly random deep conversations where she suddenly seems very interested in what's going on with you, how you're feeling, or where your head's at. At first, it might feel like she's just being nice, but look closer about the timing. For weeks, maybe months, she had your attention on demand. You were checking in, starting conversations, trying to make plans, always available. Then something changes. You pull back, maybe because you're focusing on your both own life, you're tired of doing all the chasing, or you've simply outgrown the dynamic. And suddenly, she notices that attention she used to count on, it's not there anymore. That's when she starts reaching out. Picture this, you've been seeing a woman for a while, and in the beginning you were all in. You planned the dates, sent the texts, gave her compliments. She responded, but maybe over time things shifted. Her replies got slower, making plans started to feel like a chore. She was still around, but that spark, that effort, wasn't quite the same. So you make a quiet decision, no drama, no big announcement. You just pull your energy back and refocus on yourself. Suddenly your phone lights up. She's texting at odd hours. She's asking questions. "Hey, how's your day? Just thinking about you." Or maybe she hits you with a deep question where, "Do you see this going? Are we still good?" And it's not necessarily because she had a life-changing realization about you, though. Let's be real. You probably are a catch. It's because she feels the shift. She's not getting that same dose of energy, attention, and validation that she once did. And whether she says it out loud or not, that change hits differently. Here's the truth. These conversations, they're not just about catching up. They're about reassurance. She's trying to see if she still has that influence, if she still holds space in your mind and your life the way she used to. And this isn't always coming from a toxic place. Sometimes it's real confusion. Sometimes it's ego. Sometimes it's both. But what it definitely shows is that your attention meant more to her than you probably realized. The key for you is to stay grounded. When she comes in with these sudden bursts of interest, don't feel the need to jump back in or start explaining yourself. You don't need to prove anything. Let her come to you. Let her sit in that shift. Because that's when you start to see who's genuinely interested in you and who just enjoyed being in the spotlight of your two. She tries to make you jealous when a woman senses that she's losing your attention. One of the classic responses is trying to make you jealous. And let's be honest, this one's as old as time. Now, it's not always intentional. Sometimes she does it without even realizing it. But the goal is simple. She wants a reaction. She wants to see if you still care. So how does this play out? It could be subtle things like suddenly bringing up a guy who messaged her, or casually mentioning compliments she's been getting. Or maybe she starts posting those carefully curated photos on social media looking extra good, out at events, tagging guys in her comments, or just making sure you notice she's living her best life. And trust me, none of it is a coincidence. It's a signal. She's trying to remind you that other people want her. Her message is clear. Are you paying attention now? Why does she do it? Because when your attention used to make her feel valued, losing it creates a void. And if she can't fill that gap by pulling you back in with warmth, she might try to trigger an emotional reaction. Instead, jealousy, insecurity, curiosity. Because if you're reactive and slightly, it tells her she still has power over you. That's the real goal. Confirmation that she still matters to you. And here's where a lot of guys slip up. They take the bait. They get pulled back into the emotional tug-of-war, start texting again, trying to prove they don't care or win her back. But that's not strength, that's handing your energy right back over. You've got to recognize the pattern for what it is. She's not showing off a happy life without you. She's signaling that your attention mattered. And now that it's gone, she's trying to stir the pot to get it back. That doesn't mean she's toxic or manipulative. It means she's human. We all respond to losing attention in different ways. But your job is to not fall into the trap. Stay focused, stay calm. Don't play the jealousy game. The moment you stop reacting, that's the moment she realizes the old tricks don't work anymore. And that's when she either comes back with real energy or fades out entirely. 3. Her ego goes into overdrive. Another reaction you might see when a woman feels that shift in your attention is her ego kicking into high gear. This one can be subtle, but once you know what to look for, you'll see it clearly. Let's break this down. Your attention, your compliments, your messages, your effort, those things feed her ego. They help her feel wanted, admired, important. And when that steady stream suddenly stops, her ego doesn't just shrug it off, it pushes back. This is when you might notice changes in her tone or behavior. Maybe she suddenly acts too cool, like she's Maybe she starts making little comments like, "I've got so many guys chasing me," or "I'm way too busy for all this drama." You might see her trying harder to show off her independence or boost her image in front of you. She's not just being confident, she's performing. She's trying to protect her pride and convince both you and herself that she's still in control. Here's the truth. If she genuinely didn't care that your attention faded, she wouldn't feel the need to overcompensate. But when she ramps up the ego, when she starts putting on this hyper-confident front, it's often because she's been thrown off. That shift in energy rattled her, and now she's trying to reassert herself. Your move: don't call it out. Don't challenge her or try to humble her. Just observe it for what it is. Her ego going into overdrive is just another sign that your presence had more impact than she let on. And the best response: keep doing you. Stay grounded, stay focused, and let her deal with the space you've created. Because the ones who are real, they won't need to flex when your attention changes. They'll step up with authenticity instead. But another thing you might notice is that she starts focusing more on herself, but in a way that feels a bit performative. She wants you to see that she's thriving, that she looks great, that she's busy and having fun. This ties back to ego. If she can't get your attention the easy way, she'll try to force you to see her as this high-value woman who doesn't need anyone. It's not always about genuine happiness or fulfillment. It's about making sure you see what she wants you to see. The key takeaway here is don't get caught up in the ego show. It's easy to feel like you need to prove something or respond to the little digs she throws out. But that's exactly what her ego wants, to pull you back into the game, to get a reaction that tells her she still matters. The more you stay cool, the more that ego-driven behavior will lose steam. Remember, when her ego goes into overdrive, it's not because she's truly unaffected. It's because she feels the loss of your attention and doesn't know how to handle it. The best move is to stay focused, stay grounded, and let that ego wear itself out while you keep your peace. For she plays hot and cold. Another common reaction is when she starts playing hot and cold. 1 minute she's warm, sweet, maybe even flirty. The next, she's distant, cold, or acts like she couldn't care less. This isn't random mood swings, it's a way of testing if she can still pull you back in. When you gave consistent attention, she never had to wonder where she stood. But once that fades, uncertainty creeps in. She tests the waters by turning up the charm, being extra nice, or acting interested, to see if you respond like before. If you don't, she pulls back just as fast. Why? She's protecting herself. She doesn't want to feel like she's chasing or losing face. So she switches off the warmth to see if you'll chase again. This back and forth can be confusing. You might find yourself wondering, Is she into me or not? But it's not about you. It's about her trying to figure out how much control she still has. The key is not to take the bait. Hot and cold behavior is meant to shake your emotions and spark old patterns. The more you stay calm and steady, the less power the game has. If she's genuine, she'll drop the act. If it was just about the attention, she'll lose interest when she realizes you're not reacting. Remember, your attention has value. Once you stop giving it away, so easily people show you how much they really respected it. 5. She tests your patience when she realizes she's lost your attention. Another move is testing your patience. This can be subtle or obvious, but it's about seeing if she still has influence over your emotions. She wants to know, can I still get a reaction? Can I still get under his skin? These tests can take many forms. Maybe she becomes a bit more difficult on purpose, challenging you, teasing in ways that push your buttons. Maybe she cancels or changes plans last minute just to see your reaction. Or she acts too busy or above it all, hoping you'll lose your cool or chase harder. Imagine texting a woman you've been seeing, but this time, you're not always the one initiating. She's testing if you care enough to push back or if you've moved on. The important thing here is to recognize these tests for what they are. Don't lose your patience. Don't give in to the frustration. Keep your calm, stay consistent with your own standards, and let those tests pass without giving them power. Because the way you respond tells far more about who you are than any test ever could. You might notice that you're focused more on yourself, less available, less eager, and suddenly she starts taking forever to reply. Her answers become short, dry, and don't really move the conversation forward. Then, when you slow down your replies, she hits you with something like, "Oh, too busy for me now," or "Guess I'm not that interesting anymore." On the surface it might sound casual or playful, but what's really happening is she's testing your patience. She's seeing if she can pull you back into that old dynamic where you had to work harder for her attention. Why does this happen? It's simple. When she feels that shift in your focus, she wants to know if she still controls the pace. She's watching to see if you'll break character, if you'll get frustrated, annoyed, or eager enough to prove yourself. Because if you do, it reassures her that she still has a hold over you. The smart move. Recognize it for what it is and don't get drawn into the drama. When she tests your patience, stay calm. Keep your responses steady. Don't feed the bait with emotional reactions. When you show you're not rattled or playing along, she either drop the games or reveal her true intentions. At the end of the day, your patience is a part of your strength. Holding it together and not letting little tests throw you off shows that you're not easily swayed, and that your attention can't be manipulated. When a woman notices she's lost your attention, one of the most common reactions is that she starts acting like she doesn't care at all. She put on this cool, detached front, like your shift in focus hasn't affected her in the slightest. But here's the truth. If she really didn't care, she wouldn't need to act like we didn't care. The act itself gives it away. What's really happening is simple. Your attention was something she was used to, maybe even counted on. When it's gone, she feels that absence. But instead of showing it openly, because, let's be honest, nobody wants to look bothered, she does the opposite. She tries to appear unbothered. It's a form of self-protection, a way to avoid looking vulnerable. She doesn't want to give you the satisfaction of knowing your attention meant something to her. You might see this in small ways. She stops engaging like she used to. Maybe no longer responds to your stories, posts, or messages. Not because she's truly indifferent, but because she wants you to notice her silence. It's her way of saying, "See, I'm good without you," even though inside, she's wondering why things changed. This is where a lot of guys get confused. You might think, well, she must be over it, or I didn't matter that much. But often, the truth is the opposite. That distant attitude is a mask. She's watching to see if you'll notice her pulling back, if you'll chase her like before, if you'll give her a reason to drop the act and reconnect. It's not that she truly doesn't care, it's about seeing if she can get your attention back without asking for it. The key for you is to see through it. Don't assume that because she's acting unfazed that she really is. And don't feel like you need to prove anything or break your focus just to respond to that act. Stay steady. Let her be the one to drop the mask if she truly wants to reconnect. In the end, this behavior says more about where her mind is than anything else. It's not about strength or confidence. It's about holding on to pride while figuring out what's really going on between you. Your best move. Keep your cool and let actions, not performances, guide what happens next. 7. She starts chasing what she took for granted. Here's where things really come full circle. When a woman realizes she's lost your attention and nothing she's tried so far has worked, she often starts chasing what she once took for granted. That means you, the same guy she got used to having in her corner. The guy who was always there, always making the effort, is now the guy she feels slipping away. And when that happens, she starts doing what she never thought she'd need to. She starts putting in the work to get your attention back. At first, this might look like her being more thoughtful. She checks in more often, tries to be sweeter, puts effort into conversations, maybe even hints at spending time together again. On the surface it can feel good. And to be fair, sometimes it is genuine. But here's where I want you to pause and think. Why did it take you pulling back for her to see your value? Why wasn't she showing this energy when you were giving your best to her? This is where a lot of men slip up. The moment she starts chasing, you might feel relieved or flattered. You might think, finally she sees me. Finally she's acting right. And what happens? You jump right back into giving her the attention she missed. The problem is, if you do that too fast, you kill the lesson. The effort she's making can disappear just as quickly as it started once she feels like she's got you back where she wants you. So, here's my advice. Don't get caught sleeping. Take a step back and reflect. Why did you stop giving her your attention in the first place? Was she taking you for granted? Were you over-investing while she barely lifted a finger? And now that she's chasing, what do you want from this situation? Is it just attention you're after? Or do you want something real, something balanced? See, the point isn't to play hard to get forever or punish her for past behavior. The point is to wake up and realize that your attention is valuable. It shouldn't take you pulling away for someone to see your worth. And when they finally do see it, you owe it to yourself to make sure the change is real, not just a temporary reaction to losing the spotlight. So, if she starts chasing, let her show that effort. Let her prove that she means it. And in the meantime, stay focused on yourself. Stay on your path, because the right woman won't need you to pull back just to appreciate you. She'll see your value from the start, and she'll match your energy without games. Here's the bottom line. When a woman realizes she's lost your attention, it triggers all kinds of reactions. Some subtle, some loud, some that might even confuse you if you're not paying attention. But all of it points to the same thing. Your attention mattered more than she let on. And here's the thought I want to leave you with. A woman will often value your attention more when it's gone than when she had it freely. Think about that for a second. Now, the key is what you do with this knowledge. Don't fall into the trap of reacting just because she's chasing or playing games. Don't let your self-worth be tied to how much attention she gives or doesn't. Give instead. Stay focused on yourself. Let people show their true intentions through action, not just words or temporary effort. I'd love to hear your take on this. Have you seen any of these reactions play out? How did you handle it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I actually read them, and I'll be down there replying and engaging with you. Let's open up the conversation, because a lot of guys go through this, and there's real value in learning from each other's experiences. If this hit home for you, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more straight up no nonsense insights. And remember, your attention is valuable. Act like it.